Hi, I'm Jarmusz, and I'm a yoga teacher, also a stroke survivor. You can find me on Instagram at myyogawill or stroke yoga, two different pages, kind of promoting these ideas of using yoga in your stroke recovery. So welcome guys to class. I kind of wanted to talk a little bit. Last week we were talking about two things that stuck in my mind, and anybody can talk at any time. You can unmute yourself if you want to say something or add to it. But from my understanding, we were talking last week about the hips a little bit. Winnie had some questions about the hips. She's not here, but I know she will probably watch the recording later. So I still want to kind of address a few little things that you can do about the hips, and then balance stuff. We were talking about balance and how it's the one study we have about yoga helping post-stroke recovery in terms of balance, right? And that self-efficacy factor of building confidence, building that ability to feel like you can do something, and you can do it wrong the first couple times, right? You don't have to get it perfect. There really is no wrong or right in yoga, but we can build confidence up, just feeling like we can kind of explore some of these things. Excuse me.
Oh, and by the way, for those of you in YouTube land, all Rachel's contact information and the link to that study on yoga are underneath the video here in the description.
Yes, it's really interesting. You know, a study is a bit dense to read. It's a lot of statistics and information that kind of is hard to read. But if you kind of skim through it, you can see what they're saying at the end in terms of the people that were doing yoga in addition to their therapy. It added to everything that they were doing. It was beneficial towards their recovery, their balance was better. And like I was saying, the interesting thing about it was that your balance gets better when your confidence improves, right? So it's like yoga is something that really builds confidence, builds conversation with yourself in terms of like, can I do this? How can I do this? Should I try this? If I try this and then it doesn't work, what does that mean? Did I fail? Or possibly is it just trying it in a different way? And that's the beauty of yoga, is that there is no wrong or right. We just get to kind of come into this space, explore our bodies, feel what we're doing, and move, and hopefully feel better, right? Feel better at the end of the class in terms of like, oh, I didn't know I could do that. I didn't know I would. That's really the biggest thing. Like if you were to ask me one thing about what has yoga given me or what benefits has it taught me, it's confidence. Confidence to go into spaces that I normally wouldn't go into, try things that I wouldn't normally try, and be okay with not getting it right on those first few tries, that it takes time to build strength, and that there's no wrong or right version of a pose. If you're in a pose in the chair for a year, so be it. If you're in a pose standing for a year, so be it. There's no like, I love you. You guys are better at yoga. I think Joy is not muted and on the phone. But that's just my little spiel about there's no wrong or right. Listen to your body, as Ralph said last week. We're all doing different variations for ourselves. We're going to do quite a bit of standing stuff today, just to kind of challenge our balance a bit and try the flow that we've been doing, Warrior One, sun salutations at the back of the chair. So we'll try that out and kind of see how that goes, explore some things, and hopefully have a little bit of fun. So as always, you're in your chair, you're seated, you're gonna find your good old sitting bones, maybe roll that meaty part of your thigh out the way to let the pelvis really drop down. and I do this because this is our root chakra, right? Our sacrum is our root, and often that root is not connected to anything, right? It's just kind of hanging out in space. And we want to be very grounded and rooted within our own bodies. So this is why people always ask me, why do you do this? It's kind of weird. I'm like, well, we're activating our chakras. We want to align all of the chakras, get all of our energy systems moving, flowing, and it all starts with the root, the pelvis, the sacrum, down here. So once you feel like you're nice and stable, comfortable, balanced, close your eyes. Find the breath. Don't even like change it. Just notice it. Bring your attention to it. We are going to chant today, but we're going to chant Om 3 times. The word Om. So what I've been doing is kind of prepping us for like getting that Om, the A, the U, and the M, all of those syllables within the mouth. And those are really good to practice like in the shower, in the mirror. You have some time to kind of get your mouth and your vocal cords responding to that sort of thing. But today we're gonna do 3 rounds of Om, just the word Om, treating it as AUM. So like remembering that like society tells us that it's OHM and that it's Om. It's not. It's Aum. Aum. That's the sound, right? So we're gonna do that 3 times. And the goal is, yeah, it's a little goofy. I know. I don't even care. But the goal is to use the breath that you have for 1 cycle. Once you run out of breath, you're going to stop. You're going to inhale again and exhale Om till that cycle ends. Pause, inhale again, go through the cycle. And so you're not ever like taking another breath to do it. You'll see as we go, it's a lot easier. It's actually easier once you get into it than hearing me explain it. So we're gonna bring our hands to our heart. Interlocked or palms together, whatever you can do. Hands come in, kind of right under the chin to start with, and then start to drop down into your sternum. Exactly, press the palms together, flex the wrists up, bring the elbows up, and stay right at the center of the chest, right? Right here. Palms pressing firmly together. Close the eyes. Just breathe. On your next exhale, begin. We'll do that again at the end of class, but that's kind of a nice way to train your lungs in terms of the breathing pattern and how you're taking in breath and then exhaling. I've had people tell me that it kind of feels like a workout for your diaphragm. So if you're feeling like really engaged through here, that's kind of the point with the chanting, right? Then really just allowing your body to absorb all of those vibrations. Let your arms slowly start to come down, forearms together. We're gonna start just a little bit of cat-cow here by rounding forward, touching the forearms to the thighs, and then coming up, and maybe you have the ability to come up here, arcing back, and then go back down. Exhale down, touch the forearms to the thighs. Don't rest though, just kind of bounce, and then come back up and back. So I'll turn to the side here just because it's more of a less of an upward action and more of a backward, right? And then down and in, rounding the shoulders, down, tapping the thighs. Last one here, up, arc back, look up, and then down, down, down. Find the thighs with the forearms, and then cross over here. Opposite elbow comes in here. Find your child's pose, right? Torso and thighs are connected here at the side, and you're just looking down. This is not really just like a nothing pose though, right? It's active. Your pelvis is moving back while your spine is coming forward. Notice that. Breathe into the spine. Breathe into the pelvic bowl. Just another few good solid belly breaths here. You're gonna start to draw yourself forward, right? So it's almost like you're gonna walk forward with your arms, come to the edge of your knees, and then start to come down, resting the torso along the thighs, possibly dropping the arms down to the feet. This is more than likely your first big stretch of today. So let it be really kind of just generous in terms of not pushing. Release the head if that's comfortable. Drawing your hands in towards your ankles, let your palms press up like your hands are walking up your shins, just about mid shin or right below the knee. And then start to send your head forward, straighten out through your spine, and start to come into our chair pose. So when we're in chair pose, we're kind of in this angled pose here. We're neither sitting upright nor folded forward. We're in the in-between, right? So find that in-between, hold. Imagine maybe somebody rolling a marble down your back. Your back is that straight. It's like a slide. And just sit. Building your core strength. The goal here really is to get the weight onto the heels. Relax through the toes. Breathe. And then slowly walk yourself back up into Tadasana. Seated mountain pose here, arms at your sides, long. Finding the breath, feeling the breath. Just kind of sitting, right? So we're gonna do 1 or 2 rounds of our seated sun salutations here, just warming up the arms. And then I'm gonna come up to seated and teach the whole warrior 1 standing flow using the back of the chair here. Exhaling the breath completely here. Let's ground down into our feet and inhale, take our arms up best as we can. Reaching up, maybe one arm goes, maybe both arms go. You're gonna draw the arms together, palms together, hold at the wrist. Lift up, look up, make your body long and strong. And slowly exhale here, swan dive down, chest forward, arms down. Release the head. So we're gonna do that again. And certainly if you wanna come to standing for the second one and do it, you can, it's the same thing, right? You're here, your arms start to draw out, your head starts to come forward, you're up, reaching up, looking up. You can stand up at any point if you feel inspired to just get on up. Nice job, Billy. Reaching all the way up, look up, draw down into your heels, relax your toes, and exhale, release the arms to the side body, bring the chest forward, and come down. Releasing the head. Now this time, instead of coming up wide, we're gonna keep the arms where they are and just slowly start to roll the spine upwards. Go really slow though. Coming up, move myself back a little bit. We're gonna do that again because this is a really good way to challenge your balance and strengthen through the core, right? So once you're standing, give yourself just a little bit of a flop, a little bit of a turn, swing the arms, pull yourself off. And now we're gonna do that in reverse, right? So I'm kind of unsure which way I should stand here. I think if I stand from the side, that's best, because you're basically just, knees are gonna stay soft, and you're just gonna like sink down, down, down. Let your body hang out wherever it's telling you to stop, right? That might be here. That might be here. Wherever it is, let your body just hang out in space. Swing your arms, turn yourself around, breathe. Coming back to center very slowly. I cannot emphasize the slow part enough here. A lot of people just want to come up. I can come up. Look, I can come up. That's not the point. The point is that we're really slowly here, intentionally drawing the body upwards, letting the shoulders rotate by themselves, out, taking the arms up to the ceiling. Hold on, because I don't like that you guys can't see my whole body. Up to the ceiling, and then back down, down. Let your body hang out in space. Draw the chin to the chest. Exhale the breath. And then again, really nice and slowly draw up, up, up. Shoulders rotate out and up. Reach up. Look up. and come back down. Last one here. Chin tucks towards the chest, shoulders get hunchy towards the ears. Spine is realigned vertebrae by vertebrae. Very close, very slow. Coming up. Right about here is when those shoulder sockets go around. Lift up, reach up, and exhale, bow forward. Walk the hands onto the shins. Little bit below the knees, send the head forward, straighten through the back, and just walk up. Walk with the hands on the legs. Up, up, spine is straight. We're standing tall here. I'm gonna grab my chair, put it here. Wherever you guys are, all you want is to be in front of your chair, back. Okay, so you could be facing me or to the side. I just turn this way so that you all can see me. But we're gonna use the chair back here. Chair back. First thing first, right? We're gonna find down dog. So hands are gonna stay on the chair. Mostly just the heel of the hand, right, is what we're concerned with. Pressing into the heel of the hand. Walk your feet back and take your head in between your biceps. Move this up because I don't have enough space. Here. Now keep the knees bent to straighten through the back and then start to straighten out the knees. But if your knees straight mean that the back goes into some rounded positioning, keep the knees really bent. Flat back. Here. Flat back. Now press forward onto the hands. Look forward. Find a high plank. Pull back into downward dog. Find the high plank. Tippy toes maybe. Pull back. Downward dog. We'll do this a couple more times to just get this like movement, right? Forward, hips drop a little bit on that upward dog if you want that. Hips go back on downward dog. Gaze is just down at the floor. Find your downward dog and stay here. Press down into your left foot. Take your right foot, either tap it behind you or lift it up and swing it forward. Right foot presses down, left foot turns slightly out. Warrior one here, bending this knee, looking forward. This is a really safe position for warrior one, right? Noticing like how straight my back is, how straight my back leg is, front knee is bent. Now, yeah, start to come up. Challenge your balance. Lift up, come up, arc back. Exhale, take the hands down to the chair. Press into the chair. Press down. Step this front foot back. Downward dog. Walk your dog, as they say. Walk it out. Opposite side, weight comes onto the right foot. Left foot comes back or up, swings forward, back foot turns slightly out. Give yourself that support. And this is where your balance gets challenged, right? See how you are right here. Breathe. Then start to come up. Arc back. Look up. Exhale. Hands come down onto the chair back. Press down. Send this front foot back. Downward dog. Walk your dog. Bend one knee, bend the other. That's all walking your dog is. Second turn here. We're going to make it a little more fun for our balance. Pressing into that left foot, send your right toes behind you or lift the leg up, swing the foot forward, press the front foot down, turn the back foot out, look forward. Now, hands are going to stay on the chair, gaze is forward, bend into this front knee, lift the back leg. See where you're at in terms of balance. Can you look down? Can you look forward? Can you close your eyes? Hands are on the chair though. Breathe. Lower that back foot down. Coming back into warrior one. Step your front foot back and find down dog. Walk your dog. Wiggle your tail. Opposite side here for warrior three. Pressing into our right foot, left foot comes back, swings forward, presses down, back foot turns out. Here, look forward, feel your feet, feel your strength, breathe, and then bend deeper into that front leg, bring the back leg up. See if you can't look forward, look down, or close your eyes. Lower that back foot down. Press your hands down into the chair. Step that front foot back and find down dog. Just breathe here. Now start to slowly step your feet forward. Walk it in. Come all the way to the chair back. Let your hands release. And now depending on what kind of chair you have, you can kind of play with this and play with what position you should be at the chair. Some of you might have to come to the front of the chair, but we're gonna forward fold over the chair, right? So you're here. My chair is a specific yoga chair, so it kind of hits me at the right spot right here. If your chair is coming up too high, this is probably, Ralph, yeah, you turned it around. Use the other side, right? But you're gonna come up, come over, and come down with the forearms. Release the head. Now, don't just come out of this position, right? Because this is where we feel like we get dizzy. So stay here a moment. Start to slowly send your head forward and walk your hands to the seat of the chair. Find this positioning here. Hands are down, elbows are locked out, gaze is forward, and breathe. Now really nice and slowly come back into your fold. Close your eyes. Ever so slowly send your head forward, open up the eyes, look forward, walk your hands onto the seat of the chair, press your hands down, lock your elbows out, and send your head forward. Gaze forward. Breathe. And slowly walk up. Coming into a standing Tadasana or mountain pose. Just breathing here, right? We'll do a few standing postures here now. And I might suggest that the chair stay right like in front of you or to the side of you even. Or if you have a wall nearby, you might place a hand on the wall, right? So lots of different options, but just starting with, and honestly, Tadasana with the back against the wall is very nice. Bring your heels back, bring your back back, bring the back of your head back, and close your eyes. So really nice balancing posture that like builds confidence, builds balance, builds strength in the hamstrings and the back body. Now with the eyes closed, see if you can't bring your head to the right. Back to center and to the left. Do that again. Right? Center, left. Back to center. Let your gaze, let your eyes open and let your gaze just be right straight in front of you. Without moving your head, let your eyes look up. And now. And back up. And back down. Up. And down. Do that maybe 3 or 4 times on your own. Up. Down. And then close your eyes again. Now it kind of sort of seems that everybody has a wall nearby, so I think I'm just going to teach this using the wall, right? So take a step away from the wall. We all know tree pose generally. It's one of the more common yoga poses, right? You're here, you're here, you're here, right? Tree, right? Very difficult balancing posture, right? So how do we build something like this? We're going to come to the wall, and I'm going to turn my computer just a little bit this way so that you can see what I'm doing here, right? Because we're going to be using the wall to support ourselves balancing. So start with, say this, foot and foot touching, knee open, knee is against the wall. Maybe even your elbow is against the wall. You can see my upper body, I'm kind of like here, using my elbow, using my knee, here. Strengthening this hip, you can see kind of where my hip goes here, and then where it engages, right? So try that, The idea of using the wall is eventually this foot can come up all the way into the crevice of the thigh and press against the wall there, right? Nice job, guys. Beautiful. Hands can come up, but traditionally hands stay at heart in tree pose. Kind of like to build balance. It's really nice to have the wall here to get that full extension. You can even bring one hand on the wall with the arms extended. Press into the wall and kind of open up that hip more. Remember, tree pose is about hip opening. Not how high we can come or how long we can stand. Rather, getting that hip open. Nice job, nice work. Then when you're ready, go ahead and turn yourself around and do the opposite side. Tree pose, I wanna say for those of you that are not able to do a tree pose standing at the wall, some people might be watching this and thinking, I can't do that, right? You're gonna start, tree pose starts here. My foot is against my ankle, my foot is against my other foot, and I'm kind of using it as a kickstand. This knee is opening in order to open the hip. Tree pose opens the hip, one leg at a time, right? So you start here and maybe just balance right here, hands at heart to start with, give yourself a balance. And then if you wanna say perhaps grow your branches, as they say, grow your branches. If coming up here, above the knee, or even at the thigh is better for you, then do that. Now I turned away from the wall because I didn't want y'all just to see my butt, but I would be here using the wall to support my knee. And then hands come up, arms come out, up, here. Lower your hands down into your heart. Pause for a moment. And then take the leg down. Walk the legs out. Bend the knees. Give your hips a little bit of a shake maybe. And let's do a little bit of a twist. I'm gonna put myself back here. And then we'll do one more balancing posture before we sit down. So standing here, we're gonna try for a little bit of our, let's see how I wanna teach this exactly, hold on. We're gonna try for a little bit of our eagle legs, eagle pose, right? We kind of started with eagle today, bringing that forearms together here, doing this guy up. That is a very simplified version of eagle arms where you cross your arms over and kind of yeah, exactly. Nice. So if you can do that one where you cross one arm under the other and up, do that. But the point of this is not to get too focused on the arms, right? We want to focus in on the legs and focus in on balancing. So start here, holding the arms here, and just lift one leg up. Balance on the opposite leg. Lower that leg down and try the other one. Up. And I might add that if balance is difficult, just come off the heel. Don't lift the leg all the way up. Just raise at the heel, hold hands at heart, kind of in the eagle posture here, and breathe. See if you can do that. If that's easy for you, I would say the next part of this pose is to lose the arms, bring a hand to the chair, increase your balance here by lifting this leg up and crossing over, right? So this is the eagle posture that we want to get into, is this. Locked around, bent down, arms out here. But this is a difficult pose, so we teach it very in pieces, right? So you can start with the arms here, balance. If that's easy, come here, lift up and cross. Just see if you can stay here, hand on the chair. If this is easy, then hands come to the heart. Eagle arms. If that's easy, then sit down and wrap the foot around the calf and sit. It's kind of like a chair pose with legs crossed over. Arms up, eagle posture, breathe, and then come out of it. Very nice job, guys. I love what I'm seeing, like all the little, like, I could try that. I could do that. Maybe if I sit and do it, that's better, right? So let's come back into our chairs. That's a tricky one, but I like playing with that one because it's very challenging, right? Very challenging, and it gives us a good sense of kind of where our hips are at, balance, where we're kind of tweaking out with our balance, like where we lose it, right? You can kind of really pay attention to that. Whoa, that's where I went over, right? And kind of feel your body gaining its internal stability back, like it's gonna catch itself. Like you're gonna notice, you're gonna go this way. Oh, I'm gonna come back this way. And it's just playing with that, right? So, back to our seated posture. Just a nice Tadasana. All of that hip work is gonna now allow us to release the hips. So this is what I was talking about for Winnie. If you have tight hips, right? Generally, you want to work the hip first before you try to stretch it, because then, like anything, you're giving it warning, you're warming it up. Our hips are nice and warm now. So we're gonna take our feet to the outer edge of our chair, nice and wide. Find your sits bones, let your pelvis drop down, sit up, nice and tall. If this is not even accessible, and you're like, oh my gosh, Rachel, I can't even get my knees past here because my hips are so tight, then go to where you can go. We're just finding a place that's not here, right? So it's not hip distance. You might only be able to go here. But the idea is still the same. The sacrum and the pelvis are dropping down. And if you're a little bit more narrow here, I would suggest going like this a couple times. Breathe. And just rotate each hip maybe 2 or 3 times. Out and back. Out and back. You can, obviously a lot of us can do this without the hands. That's not the point, right? We're using the weight of the hand to guide the knee and possibly get us into a deeper extension than where we were to go like this. Like we're pushing that edge, pushing that edge, pushing that edge, pushing that edge. And then come on, we're gonna do just a couple little dips, right? Dipping forward, down, chest forward, down, down, and up. Down and up. A lot of times we do this and we think that we're like loosening up our inner thighs, and getting that whole like this thing going, the butterfly thingy. It's not really what we're trying to accomplish. We're moving really slowly so that we can feel our outer hip flexor rotating, our pelvis rotating back and down. 2 more times here, coming forward and back up, and coming forward and back up. This is probably the most useful thing that you could be doing for yourself for your walking to keep your hips healthy, right? In terms of functional movement, functional patterns, right? Then coming back to center here, we'll find goddess in its fuller extension, just by coming up here with the arms, lifting the chest and opening the mouth. Breathe. If you can raise your heels up, come to the toes, do that. You can rest the heels on the chair legs and then start to slowly reach up. Maybe drawing the hands together or holding a palm, pulling all the way up like you're gonna pull yourself out of your hips, out of your pelvis. Reach up, stay light on your feet, and breathe. Now slowly, almost like you're using a lat pull down machine, draw your elbows down, down, down into these little T-Rexy arms, right? Elbows against the side body, arms here. We're gonna come forward so that our forearms touch the thighs. Then we're gonna give ourselves a nice wide base so that you can see here there's space here and here. And cat-cow, lift the chest forward, round the spine back. Really breathe. We've moved a lot today. So really send that breath into the body. Close your eyes. Breathe, follow the breath. Follow the rhythm that is inside of you. And the next time you come into your seated cow, that's the one where we're extended forward, chest forward, head forward, heart forward, elbows down. You can stay right here and say perhaps release the head down and just kind of hang out here for our last posture. Or you can drop down to the floor and turn my camera. Lots of things to do with the arms here, right? You can be here, like I said, just released. You can be here, hands are on the floor. You can reach around the legs. You can hold the hands here underneath your body. You can hold the elbows here underneath your body. You can even come under the feet. So lots of choices. Make yourself comfortable for our last pose, last minute in a posture. The only requirement is that you can find that deep belly breath. So if you've created a posture that you can't get that breath down into the belly, that means you've gone too far. Take it out a little bit. And now, however you like to come out of this, just please go really slowly, pressing down into the hands, walking it up, bringing the back all the way to the chair back behind you. Walk your feet in and possibly extend the legs forward and kind of like get comfy, right? Bring the back all the way back. Some of you might be close enough to the wall where you could rest your head back. If you wanted to do Shavasana on the floor, now is a great time to get comfy flat on the floor or flat on a couch. We'll be here for about 4 minutes. So get comfortable, right? I'm gonna stay here just for our purposes here, but I do have a mat here. So if you have a mat around and you wanna come lay down, I actually might do that. I might just ask you to support your head if you do come down onto the floor. Traditionally, that's not really done in Shavasana, but therapeutically, it is very beneficial to have something for the back of the head so that you really are in that full corpse pose, chin to chest. Chest is higher than the chin, but the forehead and the chest are about level, right? Hands can rest on the belly or drop to the side. Palms can turn up if that's accessible. Allow your body to just breathe wherever you are, seated, on a table, on a couch, on the floor. The idea here truly is to let go. Let go of any tension, any worry, any expectation, anything. And if you're on the floor, now is a really good time to just gently roll over onto one side or the other and just let yourself stay there. If you're seated in the chair, sit yourself up slowly, coming back into a seated mountain posture. But the idea is that we're not too in a hurry to get on out of this right away. So take your time, ease yourself up off the floor and come into a seated posture. I'll say kind of right here maybe for now, just seated. Finding the sits bones again, letting your body sit either in the chair or on the floor and bringing your hands back up into your heart, maybe the same way you did before or some kind of different way, whatever you're comfortable with. We're going to chant 3 rounds of Om again. So take your time, take a breath, close your eyes. And on your next exhale, you'll begin and go for a total of 3 Oms. Om Shanti. Namaste.
Namaste.
Shanti, Shanti, Om. Peace, peace, peace be with you. Peace.
Thank you, Rachel.
And to you, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
That was great.
Yeah.
A little challenging, but great.
Right. Yeah, it was definitely challenging. Nice to have the willingness to try something challenging, right? And build that balance back. Lots of things that we went over today. So lots of things to build on, practice on, and kind of see how you start small, right? And then you really build into these poses that really are quite phenomenal when you see what your body is actually really capable of.
I would assume when you were doing eagle and lifting your legs, if you wanted to, you could back up to the wall instead of using a chair. Just keep your spine straight against the wall.
Sure. You could, I might even say to use like a shoulder, like turn to the side and use just like touch your bicep to the wall instead of the back, because eagle pose is kind of like forward. So your back wouldn't be touching the wall, but you could attach your butt, more of your sits bones to the wall and hinge forward like that. But the shoulder I kind of like better. And also I noticed that you came back to the chair. So practicing that locking in the chair, like you're just forward. And you know what, honestly, like a lot of these poses I didn't get good at by trying the pose like over and over again. You build into it, right? So I would say to keep working on tree pose, building tree pose up, building, and then trying that, because eagle pose is really hard. And I mean, shit, I've been doing yoga for probably 9 years and I'm able to do it. So it's not something we're going to learn in one class or a couple of classes, but to keep building those balancing poses, tree pose being the most important one to get the balance on the foot, and chair pose, just doing chair pose over and over again. You probably would like chair pose with your sitting bones attached to the wall. So you're kind of like here, come down, and then come away and just do this. Come away from the wall and back. So you're building that strength, right, in the legs, or the infamous like wall stand, right? Just down. And then if you're here, see if you can't lift a leg. You know, doing different things. If you're here, my back is against the wall, my sitting bones are against the wall. I'm gonna hinge away and hinge back. Lots of different things to get that body built up into this. But if you're here, yeah, I guess this would work, Ralph. You could come forward here with your butt attached to the wall. Right here. I do still kind of like it from the side. But either one, either they both feel the same way. So
Gotcha.
but lots, yeah, sure.
Do you teach classes outside of this, like regularly, like weekly classes, or are you not?
I don't teach group classes other
Okay.
than this, and Ralph, maybe you want to talk to me after class about more group classes, but I do privates,
Okay.
private sessions. So like people that find me in these classes and want to do more, I do one-on-one. Joy is my Joy, you might chime in and say she's been a one-on-one now for a while. We do a session once a week, sometimes twice a week, and just kind of work on some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to do that, email me.
Okay. Yeah, I've been doing yoga for years, pre-stroke, and I had my stroke 7 months ago. So this is my first, besides just doing a few poses on my own, kind of first foray into trying a class. Because to be honest, I was nervous about
Right. Well, good for you.
Eagle pose is hard, like without having a stroke. So, I was surprised you did that one today. I was like,
well, it's like, it's building confidence.
Yeah.
Confidence and building, that's really cool to have the yoga background.
Well, it's helped me. It definitely has helped me in my recovery. The balance part, I mean, my balance is not as good as it was. Obviously, my left side is completely, numb, and it's my balance is not as good, but it would have been a lot worse if I hadn't been doing yoga prior to this. The therapists all said that to me.
That is really interesting, and I 100% believe that. Like I started yoga after my stroke, and so I kind of have a disadvantage of it because I am in a limited body.
Right.
But a big part of the work that I do is getting folks back into a practice that have had a practice that feel like, shit, yoga was hard enough before.
Yeah.
And I have this stroke, and how am I supposed to go into a class? There's no way. But like,
yeah,
I love using the wall. I love using the chair. And I find that by doing that, you are actually building your confidence back to get into the posture.
Right. No, it definitely helped me to do these couple of classes. Actually, sitting is very hard for me. It's really uncomfortable. So being in a chair, especially this chair, is really uncomfortable, but that's what I have in this room.
That's probably like your SI joint then, right?
No, it's not. It's the back of my leg. It's a sensation issue. It's not spasticity, according to the rehab doc, but my whole, my left side is very sensitive. And so sitting for any length of time is challenging for me. I can lay down on the bed. That's the best position of all, but it's not good for you, like.
Have you ever tried?
And standing and walking are all good. So luckily I can do all that, but sitting is just really uncomfortable.
Well, I did a one-on-one with Rachel, and I said I did a one-on-one with Rachel, and I was surprised at some of the positions she got me into. I just figured I'd trust her, and I didn't do anything that was too crazy, but it's really good to have somebody kind of guiding you and pushing you, because it's a real confidence builder, and confidence The more you build up your confidence, the less fear is able to poke its little head in on your reality.
Yeah, I may reach out to you, Rachel. I mean, the class I have been going to for years, it was in person and then it went online during COVID. And I could reach out. I mean, I've been in contact with my instructor a few times since my stroke, but I could reach out to her again and start back up going virtually, which then I could control, basically what I can do. And since I've been doing that for a long time, I do feel like I could kind of know my limits.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't know if I'm ready. I don't feel like I'm quite ready for that. So maybe working
Well,
with you a little bit would be
yeah, maybe
helpful.
spend an hour with me and you'll be like, I am ready to get out into
Yeah.
class.
Yeah.
And doing it from home, you're right. You have more control over your
Right.
environment, how far you go, and you can be more comfortable to really get into, yeah. That
Right.
would be fun though.
But-
That would be
Okay.
I've taken regular yoga classes, and I can't do some of the stuff, but you have to do your own adaptations,
Right.
adaptations. And the one thing I liked about the one-on-one with Rachel was she's saying, "We'll try, go to the chair, we'll go on the floor, back up to the
Right.
wall again." So she's gone through it, and
Yeah.
and I find it helpful too, especially the first time.
Right.
If I do something, I can generally remember it. But it's nice for me anyway, nice getting guided into stuff the first time.
No, definitely. I could see that because, like I said, I was a little bit nervous to even try certain poses until I just did these two. So,
yeah. Well, that's really cool. That
yeah,
it's building back,
I
and
want to get back to it. I definitely do.
yeah, it is so valuable, and so that's why I kind of see myself kind of as like an in-between person.
Mhm. Yeah.
For like people in between getting into a practice in their local studio, transitioning from like home and going back and forth. And just that was very kind, Ralph. Thank you for your kind words about my teaching. But yeah, I kind of try to like just have it be very open and like, okay, let's try this. Let's try it. Let's figure it out. There's always, my belief is that there is always a way to get the pose, right?
Right.
I think it's Bernie Clark that says we don't use the body to get into the pose. We use the pose to get into the body.
Mhm.
So it's like, unmute yourself, Joy, if you have something to say. We can't hear you.
Well, that's my attitude. Well, about everything, there's always a way to figure it out, adapt, and go for it. And I coach a lot of people, and the people that come back to me all the time, well, I can't do that. Okay, we'll adapt it like this. Well, I can't do that, or I don't have this, or I don't have that. After a little bit of while of that, you can't help everybody.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of fear, especially after you first have your stroke. It's hard to.
Yeah, it is.
Some people, there's a lot of fear about what you can and can't do, and
how
what
did
to
you
try.
feel doing like a forward fold? Are you like dizzy?
That
That?
No, I'm not dizzy, but I was avoiding doing any downward dog or anything like that because I just have this like subconscious thing, like I'm not supposed to like put my head down low, And I even asked the neurologist, can I like do that? And they're like, of course you can do that, But it just feels like
With the chair?
I did it in the chair. That was fine. Yeah. But just
But
even getting my head down really low felt.
you have to do everything in your own time. You have to know
Right.
when you're ready. But, basically anything you can't do, how are you going to get better at doing it if you don't do it?
Right. Yeah.
Try to turn the chair around if you like practice at home by yourself. Like use the top of the chair, but try to use the chair seat and do a downward dog like that and ease yourself. Like see if you feel comfortable bringing your head lower and lower. Sometimes
using the chair when we were doing that was good. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, standing up with your arms out, your head doesn't really, you look at the
Right.
your head's not really that
Yeah, and
level.
I've done that, against the kitchen counter kind of a thing. I've done that as well.
It's still above your heart, so you're not doing an inversion.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rachel can do inversions, but I wouldn't recommend them for newbies.
Yeah.
Headstands are fun. Yeah, headstanding and all that. I'm working on my
I've never liked headstand or any of that. I'd never liked it.
Really?
Then you won't like them post-stroke either.
No. What? Oh, I missed that.
Oh, you
I mean,
won't,
I've
you
done legs
won't,
up
if
the
you,
wall,
Like them
but I
post-
haven't done legs up the wall yet. Because I just feel like, again, it's like all this blood is going to go rushing to my brain, you know? And I had a hemorrhagic stroke, so it was a brain bleed. So of course it feels like that's gonna, you know.
me too.
But did you? Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's that fear, like you said, getting over it and trying very little, like instead of legs up the wall, you might want to do calves on the seat of the chair,
Yeah.
you know, and instead of getting completely vertical first, you know,
Right.
like taking legs like this on the seat of the
Yeah,
chair.
I've gone on my bed with my legs kind of angled, you know, at the
Okay.
wall. So, but not with my, you know, butt all the way up against the edge of the
Yeah,
wall.
well,
Yeah.
it's that completely vertical position that
Yeah.
probably makes you feel like all the blood is rushing into your head, and
Yeah.
that's not a safe feeling, right? So why
Right.
would you put yourself in that? But easing, I'm a big one for like easing into the poses. For me, inversions help me tremendously with my vertigo and just keeping my whole system balanced. So I try to do an inversion like once a day at least.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Yeah.
because it really helps my overall balance. But I've met people before that say like, oh, I'm not messing with that. I'm not doing
Yeah.
it. I didn't like it before my stroke. I'm not gonna like it now.
Yeah.
Totally.
I'm not having vertigo, but I just didn't like the shoulder. Mostly it was like just to protect my neck and things. But anyways, we could go on, but I'll reach out to you.
Thank you for sharing. I enjoy hearing any feedback or any personal stories about yoga or whatever. Joy, I don't think you got, oh, you did get unmuted.
I did. I was just going to tell her that I have improved so much since I started my one-on-one sessions with you.
Well, that's great.
I wish I would have started sooner, but I didn't know her then.
Right.
It has helped everything. My arm issues, my balance especially. I mean, I'm doing things I never thought I would be able to do after my stroke. And
That's
it's
great.
been 6 years, but I've been with Rachel, I think, for what, a year, Rachel, is that right?
It was a year, yeah, in the beginning of summer. Or maybe mid-summer. It was a year, yeah. Yeah. And I mean, yoga is something that you can't really like get good at and then say like, I'm good, you know, like I don't need to do it anymore.
Anyway.
And there's always space to keep going. There's always space to keep kind of being creative and curious about your own body. That was awesome today, Billy. I saw you moving and I saw you get up. I saw you really in it.
I was waiting to come down on the floor.
Oh, you did?
No,
Did
no, I was waiting for me to come landing on the floor.
Oh.
No, no.
Yeah.
That's why they call it practicing
I
yoga.
saw your
Yeah.
balance getting up there. That was really
That's
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good
We're about,
job.
baby steps.
Baby steps,
That's right.
right? Baby steps, baby steps. That's why I love yoga so much is it's like building blocks for movement. Like you're building a practice that allows you a fuller access to your body and fuller access to your movement, but you're doing it in blocks. That's why I'm like really annoying about go slow, move slow, because it's a method, like it's a method. Like we're building on top, building on top, building on top. And Billy, you too, if you want to do a private and try to actually get on the floor in a safe way without nose diving. Now
I'm going with that too.
some
Crash landing.
crash landing.
Rachel helped me with that too. She's been helping me get off the floor after falling, but now my next thing is to get on the floor without falling there.
Yeah.
She can now she can get off the floor from falling, but now she wants to intentionally get on the floor.
Right, voluntarily. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Big deal for stroke survivors to have
Yeah.
that
Huge,
access to
huge
get
deal.
right on and off the floor. So Billy, I got you down for a session.
Mhm.
We'll talk later. We'll talk later.
Well, I
Yeah.
have to run, but thank you so much and I'll reach out.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, I will.
Bye, have a good day.
Bye, you too. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thanks, Ralph.
Oh, no problem.
All right, bye-bye.
Do all you can with what you have, in the time you have, in the place you are. Do all you can. Do all you can.